We should be live. Let me double check to make sure we are live. Today is a producer cook-up where we're just going to be cooking up. We're going to be using Suno Studio today and FL Studio combined. Aiming for like a Young Jeezy style track today. Let me make sure the audio is good. Just give me a second here. Today. All right, audio looks good. Looks like we're good. All right, so let me let the Discord know that we're live real quick. And we're going to get started. So if you don't know our Discord, it's completely free to hop in. It's discord.gg/busyworksbeats. It's completely free. We have 127,000 people in our Discord focused on music production. Excuse me. Okay, making beats live, producer cook-up. We got people live streaming right now in our Discord. About 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people live streaming right now. All right, let's see here at everyone. So again, it's completely free to hop in. We have, see how many people we have in our Discord now. We have 127,149 people in here. So come join the fun. That's where people live stream. Got people making beats, collabing right now. We got a chat, we got tips, we got free samples, we got all types of stuff. Multi-tracks, loops for days. The greatest sound designers in here. So come join us. It's free. Take the free sample, why don't you? All right, so let's go into FL. Or not FL, I mean. I meant to say, let's go into Suno. We're going to drag this into FL. Now, what I want the tracks I hear in my head is I want to create like an imaginary players. Okay, I want something like that, but in a different style. But I do want that doom, doom, doom. So first I'm going to start with an idea. I have 2 ideas for Jeezy. One is like the imaginary player style. The other one is going to be more trap centric. So let's start with the imaginary players vibe that requires a little more like rhythm and drum work. Let's tap that out. So let's do right click tempo tapper. Boom, imaginary players. Dun, dun. So I like to feed Suno ideas. You guys can record straight into what they call Suno Studio. Okay, Suno Studio, I have what's called the Premiere plan. So this allows me to do track by track. I can create stuff. So here's our last. Cruising down the road, I just want some alpha, smoking up some la la la. So it gets really crazy. Cruising down the road, I just want some alpha. And we took that and we flipped that and made our beat even better. Let's do a new project here. Let's call this YouTube Live. Let me do my shout outs too. Let me shout out the crew. Hold on, y'all. Give me a sec. We got Jorn in here. Shout out to Jorn. Shout out to Jorn. We got Zorro in here. We got Swift. We got, so what is Suno? Suno is basically an AI music generator. It also has its own, they call it generative audio workstation, which is super fire. I used it to create track by track. So instead of just creating a whole song, it creates track by track. And you can get really custom AI takes. Basically, it's like if you had a real session player with you. That's basically what it's doing. I just want to do my shout outs real quick. Josiah's in here. What up? AI does not have a soul. Oh, AI does not have a soul. Do you have a soul? How do I know that you have a soul? What makes you have a soul? What is a soul? I heard about it yesterday from a friend that I make music with, and it seemed like a really easy program. Hit War is here. What up? AI will take over music in 2 years. I don't think it's taking us out of the equation. I think it's making it more fun. Ski is here. So let's just make stuff. Today we're going to have some fun. 2X is in here. What up, 2X? All right, so we have 36 people here. I need you guys to smash that like button, share with a friend, because we're just getting started. Let's move over to Suno. Here we're going to, let me see what we have here. So I have an idea in my head. For those who don't know, Jay-Z had a song called Imaginary Players. It goes like that. So I'm going to sing this same kind of melody, but just different words. So like, imaginary playmates, something like that. Just so it's not the same lyrics, because Suno gets a little tricky with the lyrics. So let's, even though it's my own cover. 1. Boom, dum, 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 dum. Dum, 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 dum. All right, so I like to record. You guys can record straight into what they call Suno Studio. You could just hit the record button. For me, because I'm live streaming, I have this really complex audio situation called loopback, and it causes so much feedback it won't work. So I have to do it this way for the video. So I'm just letting you guys know why I'm not recording straight into Suno. Okay, so now we have the bass line. I also recommend you guys give Suno some drum ideas. Since we didn't do our drums, you want to either create the drums yourself or give it at least a drum rhythm so it knows how to wrap the music around it. So let's get in the mind of Jay-Z. All right, so I missed that downbeat, but this is a very syncopated type of idea. And now I'm going to sing the vocal. So it's 3 tracks: drums, bass, or other instrument. Mainly I just do drums and vocals. Now let's do the vocal, and then we're going to drag this into Suno. So imaginary player. I got to think of another word. Haters. Let's go. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. All right, so what I love about Suno is it's not just all text prompts. Like everybody keeps telling you that, you can do text prompts. I'm not telling you guys what and what not to do, but it's fun because you get to you're producing. This is like literally, let me call this imaginary haters. That's the song for today, imaginary haters. Yeah. And basically it's like having a studio session. It's just that the musician you're talking to is the AI LLM, whatever the model is called here. All right, let's render this out. Now we have that rendered. Shout out to everybody who's here again. So yeah, it's more fun than serious. Yeah, it's like, I don't know why people get so, I don't know. I just don't think people have used Suno Studio yet. I honestly think that's just the case. They probably just haven't used it. But I talked to, shout out to Ken too, by the way, from Suno. So Ken reached out from Suno and he was, he's dope. Shout out to Ken. I want to thank Ken. All right, so let's go to Suno Studio. Where's this at? Desktop. Where'd I put this? Oh, Jay-Z, duh. Imaginary Hater song. And it only printed, okay, my dumb self forgot to route the actual sound. Okay, so if you're in FL, you need to make sure these are routed to different channels here. So hit Control L, send them to their own mixer. That was my bad. I wasn't paying attention there. And let's do Suno, Jay-Z. Let's delete that folder. Create another one. So that's the song for today. Imaginary. Now notice how I started with an idea. And hold on, imaginary haters. Okay. And I started with an idea. And this is what I love about Suno. Hold on, let me let this render real quick. So what I love about Suno is it really makes you focus on your intent, not just clicking in MIDI and just letting a computer think for you. I actually think that clicking in MIDI is almost more like brain dead of an approach to music than using Suno. Because when you're in FL Studio, just clicking notes, you're not thinking about your actual brain's idea. You're just clicking in stuff, hoping it works. This gives you a much more musical approach. So in my opinion, this is actually better than clicking in melodies. So take that hot take and run with it. All right, so we're going to drag these in one by one onto tracks here. We want to make sure it lines up with the 1 here. Okay, so just make sure before you start generating, guys, that you want to line this up with the 1. Important for different things down the line. You said use Wave instead of MP3. Am I using MP3? Or are you answering somebody in the chat? My bad. It's a lot to read. You guys type so fast that, my bad, I'm probably out of context. Did they figure out the timing issue? From the last time I used it? Yeah. I haven't seen that like weird gap in the beginning. So this is version 1.1 of Suno Studio. Still a beta version, but this is really good, y'all. This is what a DAW should have, I'll say. I shouldn't say should be. Like if Logic bought out Suno some type of way, or if they did some kind of partnership, that would be the perfect world. And if Logic had like a couple more things that kind of helped us FL people understand Logic in terms of workflow, honestly, that would be the greatest product in the market. So personally speaking, if Logic, like I said, has a way to merge with Suno some type of way. You kind of how Splice works with Pro Tools. That would be like, we would be in a new age of music production, in my opinion. Because I literally, guys, I don't know if you guys have heard the story, but I have like 200 vinyls to my right. Now the issue is my needle broke because I let my son mess with the vinyl player, and my needle broke. So now I can't even sample the sample records that I usually sample. And plus, I don't sample that often because I don't have the best vinyl player. I have a Stanton, and it needs more volume to it. And so long story short, it's like I have all these records, but it's fun. Now, don't get me wrong, vinyl is fun. It's a whole magical experience. But I get that same kind of magical feel when I mess with Suno. And it's a different feeling, but it's still magical. So hopefully that makes sense to somebody who's a vinyl, collector. It's a whole new world. It brings back the novelty in music. That's the fun part. Okay, so now we have all the pieces to the puzzle. Let me make sure you guys can actually hear this audio.
Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters.
Okay, so now what we can do in Suno Studio, for those who haven't purchased it yet, and again, it's on the Premiere plan. I think it's $30 a month. What you can do is basically buy Suno Studio on the regular plan. You can upgrade to Premiere, cancel, and it will basically prorate, if I'm using the right terms. So you're basically paying an extra $20. And if you don't like Suno Studio, it will just go back to where you were before, which is the Pro plan. So that's what I did initially, and now I'm on the Premiere plan because I know for sure I'm going to be using this. Okay, so now we have a new track. Let's add some instruments in that aren't in this arrangement. So firstly, I want to try some brass. Let's do Latin brass. Now, actually, what am I saying? See, I'm already kind of getting to imaginary. I'm jumping ahead because in one of the records, I definitely want to use some of these sounds here. I have some sound pots. Shout out to Rot. You guys might know him as Cash Gang Rot on YouTube. He brought up using sound fonts, and I forgot I had a bunch of sound fonts just chilling. So shout out to him for reminding me that these exist. Like some of these sounds are it just pulls on your ear. It's a really nice tone. It just resonates the right way. So that's a Roland sound, for example. We got that Rick Ross era of brass, and then we got some French horns. Okay, so we're definitely going to use some brass. Maybe not on this record, the Imaginary Haters record, but definitely on the next one. All right, you said you're going to get sued for not checking paid promotion or adding ads. I'm not paid. So first of all, I said I talked to Ken at Suno. You guys need to get the whole like everybody's a shill thing out your head. I'm really tired of people saying that stupid stuff. You guys don't even know the business I help other people get behind the scenes. It's really dumb, honestly. It's like saying that the guy, even if I was paid for this video, which I'm not, it's like saying the guy at Guitar Center who helps you find the right speakers shouldn't be paid for his job. It's like he's doing his job. He's just helping you find a product. So you guys need to just drop that whole mindset. It's really holding you back. All right, so here, and no, they're not sponsoring this live stream. I said we talked to Suno. They did offer sponsorship. I'm just saying this live stream is me trying to make some songs because I love the company. All right, let's go to here and imaginary players. Let's add some guitar. Let's do R&B guitar. R&B guitar, and then we'll try another track called soul guitar. So we're going to try two different guitar. Actually, let's do soul and blues, and we need to keep switching this mode here to guitar. Wait a little bit for this to let us do it, and then we're going to add another track called, and make sure at the bottom you keep switching it back to guitar, and let's do blues guitar. Well, create. Tina says, I've been watching your beginner videos. Shout out to Tina in the chat. Jorn Maybach music. Did they figure out the timing issue? I think so. Adds harmonic. Oh, harmonica. Imagine it. I don't know. Does that song have a harmonic? What would a harmonica be? A woodwind or a keyboard sound? I don't know what they define that as, but that's a good instrument. Harmonica. Forgot about the good old harmonica. Well, you know what we should add to? Saxophone. Let's do some woodwinds. Let's do jazz. Let's do smooth jazz saxophone. So that will either hit or not hit, because it's like adding an electric guitar to your track. Like, it's not always going to work. All right, blues guitar will go. Okay, so let's mute these tracks. So again, here's where we started.
Imagine every haters.
What up, Ghost?
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
All right, and now let's hear this first guitar take. Okay, so it does look like in the beginning, there is this weird like audio offset. So what we'll do to fix this is drag the audio beyond the 1. Okay. So there is, so for who asked for, I forgot who it was. Christos, there's still this weird like audio not generating in the beginning thing. So let's drag our audio to the left a bar or 2. Because that's what they have it for, I assume. Let's do like 2 bars. So it gives it time to generate. So we're going to do the same prompts. Probably should have waited. But let's just hear what they sound like first before I just completely disregard these. But that will be the solution, is simply drag it about a bar or 2 ahead.
Imagine every haters.
Wait, hold on, let me make sure this is on beat. Also, I meant to map the BPM here. Let's do manual BPM and let's do 90 BPM. That way the sample doesn't just keep drifting in BPM. Let's make sure this is on beat.
Imagine every hater.
All right, so that's on beat. So let's add their guitar.
Imagine.
Oh, maybe this is, okay, maybe that's what happened. Maybe it is on beat, it's just not dragged back. Okay. So maybe the time issue is not actually a time issue. I think we just have to drag the audio. That makes more sense.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
It must be their time stretch algorithm doing that, to where it like adds that gap when it time stretches. I think that's probably what happens.
Imagine every haters.
Happy Friday.
Imagine every haters.
I don't think that guitar is cool. I don't think it adds anything to this performance, however. What does this say? Context window. It's this content before or after this region will be ignored. What region? Oh, okay. These little blue things. Okay, content. I didn't notice that was there.
Imagine every hater.
What up, creative? So that guitar is cool. Let's do this thing called the show take lanes. Click on here, and we actually have 2 versions of the guitar. So it does not just generate one thing; it generates 2 things.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
Cool, but it's a little too sustained for this vibe. So that guitar just didn't work out. I forgot the prompt on this guitar. I think it was R&B guitar. So R&B guitar just doesn't work for this beat. Let's delete that. Now this one is our soul guitar. So let's hear.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
Let's turn down my vocal a little. That's a good point, Liparos. I'm saying your name right. So we can still chop this up into pieces. Let's go to show take lanes and try version 2.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
I kind of like that guitar. I can't tell if it's on beat or off beat. And let's try, this is the blues guitar.
Imagine every haters.
I like the blues sound the most. Man, it was fire, and then it just stopped generating at the end. What the heck? It's fire. Let's go to version 2.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
I think this is off beat a little bit. All right, so we got to fix that because that seems off beat. Yeah, that's crazy. I think we're going to use those 2 for sure. Ghost says, give the homie his flowers and hit that like button. Thank you. Yeah, version 2 for sure. We're gonna arrange this. The only issue I have here is the timing though. It sounds a little off the grid. Let me figure out. Let's turn the metronome on. So I feel like that dun, dun, dun is the downbeat. Let me see. So this should line up with. So I might be wrong, but let's at least try. Hold up. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do that in the DAW because I can't tell where that's supposed to line up. All right, so that worked. That one's dope. Both of these versions. So let's say you like version 1 and 2. We're gonna drag this guitar to a different blank area so that we can have both. And then this one, version 2, we're just gonna left click. You could drag to another track. It might be easier that way. And then we could just name these. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing there. Let's call this guitar 1. Get in the habit of naming stuff so when you print this out into multi-tracks, you know what is what. They've definitely fixed the multi-tracks export too, by the way. All right, so let's just mute these for now. And what else did we create? A saxophone. I think we could use that. Let's try the other take. I feel like they're both good, so let's drag this saxophone. All right, so see the process here, y'all? We're just kind of like, it's just like having a musician in your studio. They do takes. You pick which one you like, you chop it up like it's a sample, you flip it. It's really like the same thing, the same process. I mean, so I say Suno Studio is definitely bringing back the studio feel. It feels like I'm actually making decisions as a producer and not just clicking and hoping stuff works. I think we've created everything. Yeah, saxophone, guitar. What else is there to create on this one? I guess a bass line maybe. Let's go back here. We need to. So I'm not understanding how to move this little context window thing. Oh, I see. Okay, it has a little bar on the. I didn't see that bar before. Okay, so it's the playhead bar. I don't know where the first bar is, but this little second bar is the context window. So you got to make sure you highlight your entire song. The harmonica. Yeah, where's the harmonica? I thought we created that. Maybe it's this one. Oh, here it is. My bad. I mixed it up with the sax. Good looks on the harmonica, though. Why does this work so good? Why does that fit so perfectly? Wow, that harmonica definitely saved the day. Let's add a track here. Let's go to show take lanes and let's do version 2. Drag that to a new track. Harmonica is going crazy, bro. The question is, I guess, do we leave the harmonica as is or do we chop it up? I guess we leave it as is. Let's just hear the second harmonica. I've never heard a harmonica play that rhythmically, so I don't know if I like that one. It's just a little too staccato-y, like doo 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 doo. Yeah, I agree. I think we should shout out to the harmonica. Wow, good looks on that suggestion. That was a good call. Okay, so we got everything. We got the harmonica, we got the potential guitar, we got the potential. Oh, I forgot bass. My bad. Let's add a track in here. So the reason I'm doing a bass guitar is I do have a bass guitar in my closet. I do have Trillion. I do have Ample Sound. What is it? P or J? Ample Sound Bass J or whatever. It's like I do have bass guitars, but like I want to do stuff that I can't naturally do. Okay, so that's why I'm doing stuff. I can't play bass that fast. Like I can play it, but just not like I can't do all that. So let's do blues, bass, see what they come up with. And the cool part about Suno is you can always make their bass, because it's a live sounding bass, you can always mix it to sound realistic, and I'll show you guys how to do it. So let's click here and let's go to bass again. And instead of blues, let's try hip hop electric bass, just to see if it creates a different groove. All right, so here's the blues bass.
Imagine every haters.
Trying to figure out why this time stretch thing does this. Alright, let me just line this up.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
That bass, it's cool. It just doesn't stand out to my ear though. So let's switch the take lane. Try version. Oh wait, where's it at? Let's do version 2 on that one.
Imagine every haters.
Now I gotta line these up. Let me see, y'all. Hold up. Wait. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Imagine every haters.
Now this sounds more like the bass I was looking for. That type of sound. With a Maki. Let me turn off my. It's pretty cool. It just depends if that's gonna line up because FL's not the greatest with lining up transients. That one's cool though.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every hater.
This is off by like a hair.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every hate. Imagine.
I don't know why this is so off. Yeah, I've noticed lately in Suno Studio, some of the like beginnings of the generations are like kind of off in time. So I don't know if that's like a time stretch thing or what, but there's something up with that.
Imagine every haters.
True.
Imagine every haters.
I would like that one. It's just off. So I think we got everything that we need. We got the harmonica. So let's just make sure we're labeling everything. Even the original tracks, let's call this original. And I'll just, label it to be deleted. Let's do original delete. So I know which tracks to get rid of. And let's do this one, original delete 3. And then make sure we have everything. We have the we have the harmonica. We have the...
Imagine every hate.
Let's just delete the tracks we don't need. Oh, they added an EQ. So this is new. So if you click on, I don't even know where I clicked just now. Is this new? This just randomly popped up. So I don't know if this is like a real-time update because I did not see that before. So this EQ just popped up out of nowhere. And basically you could shape it. So this is for people who don't have a DAW. You could just shape the sound right here. And they have presets for you. Now I'm not going to use it because I want my control in the DAW. But that's pretty dope. You know, they have an EQ. You could filter it, high pass filter, low pass filter. It's pretty unique. Interesting that they're introducing effects inside of. All right, now without further ado, we got to start making a producer magic. So let's click here with where it says export. Let's go to multi-track, and it will download really fast, and it will organize the tracks for us. So all we have to do in FL is just make sure we have the same tempo, which is 90. Let's mute our original tracks, and now the zip will download. Let's open this up. Now we have the folder. We could just highlight everything. You don't need the deleted things because that's what we're going to leave out. Drag this stuff back in and it should line up perfectly with the metronome. So what we have to do though is let me go in here and see if there's any offset. It seems like something's offset in the beginning. Okay, because there's a little gap at the end which lets me know this is offset by a certain amount here. So let's grab everything. Let's just hit Control. And we can use the slip tool to move everything to the left. So let's figure out just where the downbeat is. Now to help you guys, change the snap to grid to a beat so you can see the vertical lines. And just mute things that are kind of hard to hear. So let's mute, there's like a guitar in here. Okay. So it should be dum 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 dum. so now we're just muting stuff that shouldn't be on. Another good tip is to grab the slice tool, right click if you're in FL Studio 25 and above. You got to hit shift if you're in versions outside of 25. Just right click and just delete that. And let me switch. My bad, y'all. The screen was too big. Appreciate you guys being here, firstly. And let me make sure we didn't miss out on a guitar here. Hold up a sec. Okay, we muted that channel, so we don't need that channel. All right, so let's delete stuffs. Let's delete this, and we're gonna arrange this so the second guitar comes in over there. So everything should line up. So basically we're creating our own vinyl sample. That's essentially what we're doing. Now there's like this saxophone somewhere. So let's get rid of that, because that's throwing the timing off. All right, now we can go in and add our drums. Let's find some drums that match this vibe. For my human nature. I just need see how it didn't loop perfectly there. We got to figure out why. I think it's just the nature of the beginning of these sounds. So we can fix this. Just let's find our drum breaks folder. Where is our drum breaks? Drum breaks. Whoops. Break drum. Let me see if I have a Jay-Z kit somewhere floating around. Oh, I do. Jay-Z. Like Suno's good for realistic instruments. True. I like it for guitar. I like it for flutes. I like it for background singers. That's what it's really good at. And now we need a kick that matches this vibe. We need some hi-hats in here. Or maybe bongo. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Let's record some bongos, some hand drums. Ta 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 ta. I was thinking, yeah, congas. So let me go to my secret kit. Let me put you guys on. If you guys want really dope bongas and congos, you know what I mean, congas and bongos, it's called the All-Encompassing Kit. And go to where it says percussive acoustic conga. These things are fire. So let me just record these little sub rhythms in here, just to kind of build this track up a little bit. Ta 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 ta. Hopefully that beginning was recorded well. Did it not record? Okay, I thought it didn't record just then. I was about to say. So the beginning is a little quirky. I got to figure out which sound is kind of throwing off the rhythm. Let me solo this. So it should be ta 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 ta. What's the downbeat? Ta 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 ta. Okay, so it should land on a ta. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Ta 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 ta. Sorry. Man, now my brain's getting all confused. Let's just fix these first ones. I think this ending got a little laxed. It goes ta 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 ta. There we go. All right, now let's focus just on the percussion and rhythm. Something's missing though. Something like, I think it's the ending. Maybe it just doesn't. Oh, it's the bass just randomly ends. I think that's what happened. So it goes do 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 do, and it just stops. Okay, that's why. So let's get rid of the bass at the end because that throws off the perception. Just gonna just mask that out. What up, Bill Phillips? Thank you. All right, now let's get this congo going. Trey-C-O, Trey-C-O. So we're doing Trey-C-O here. Yeah. All right, so that should line up. FL just records so randomly. Like, it just added my pattern behind an audio clip, just hidden. If I didn't know any better, I would be like, where'd my audio go? I don't know. Poor FL. Should we add hi-hats? I don't think this is a hi-hat type of song. It needs an open hi-hat, maybe like something like that. Now let's add a little clave in here, just for impact. Just so it has that transient. MF Doom. I don't know his style. So let's add these as like little mini snares. So that's why I love percussion. You could just kind of stack these up. And it feels very light. A reverse hat, like, I don't know. I hear more of an open hat. Let's add these on the snare spots. It kind of starts out of nowhere. There are ways to line up the transients a little bit better. Tambourines. Y'all want the whole percussive orchestra, huh? Let me find pattern 4. I think I figured out why this pattern sounds weird. We shouldn't hear one of these little bongo things because it recorded. FL doesn't have like a record before the downbeat. It just shoves everything on the downbeat. Technically, we could wire this into Logic, huh? Let's just record this other percussive sound. Oh, I think at the very end I can hear it. It's like the sample gets a little offset. So again, when we're hearing stuff in Suno, it's time shifted and time warped. When you hear it in FL Studio, I don't think it is. I think they turn it off when you export. Acoustic guitar. Maybe. I don't hear that in my head though. So I'm going off of a reference of a song called Imaginary Players by Jay-Z. It just has bass and like a pad. So we're adding a lot more than the original here. Let's see if we can find a chord. So imaginary. Da, da. So let's try. It's a little too dark. Let's just add that like a little lifter, like da da. 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 1, da. is a really nice sound. I just want that in the beat somewhere. Okay, now we need the drum. Now the problem is we can't just slap some trap drums in here. Let's use some more acoustic stuff. I'm gonna do a Black Friday video where I show you guys the deals from all these companies. I'm sure XLN Audio has a deal. This is where you guys can find more acoustic stuff. And we need to find a kick that feels more in this vibe. Let's go to the modern R&B kit. Let's figure out the kick pattern. So I think just that simple. All right. I know I'm kind of speaking alienese, but my brain is moving fast. I got to just record. Oh, all right. So I don't know the original kick pattern. I wasn't thinking about gain staging. I don't know. I think people obsess about gain staging. Also, you know, there's a difference between gain staging and leveling. Leveling is when you turn stuff up and turn stuff down. Gain staging is when you are basically going through your effects, effect by effect, and you're turning the outputs to different values. That's basically what I understand gain staging as. Let's turn the overheads off though. Make the kick softer. Let's see if we can filter this kick a little bit with the EQ. I feel like it just has too much high frequencies. Let's drive it through the saturator. Let's turn it up. So now we got like a big acoustic feel, less of a synthetic feel. Here's the kick. If we don't like their saturator, we could run our kick through standard clip. Let's see if we can. I don't want to overly mix. Just want to get a kick tone here. See it hit that knock. It just needs a little more tone. Let's also turn off their compressor. Make sure we're turning off all these effects. So here's the original kick. It's just too bright for this genre. So sometimes filtering that kick will give you that hip hop vibe. Let's hear everything. Where's our sounds? All right, now let's get into the, come on. Okay, here we go. Let's add the snare. Two, three, four. I think I'm gonna redo the kick timing. So I'm gonna redo the kick timing only because I wanted to match that doom, doom. Let me just do stuff, y'all. My brain just has to do stuff. I can't talk too much. Also, we have this filter snare that sounds fire. I want to add that in somewhere. 2, 3. So let me practice. So boom to boom boom. Wait, let me just practice following the bass. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm following that bass groove. Boom, boom, tum, boom, boom. So again, the bass could be tightened up in terms of time. For the sake of the video, it's just too many steps in FL Studio though to line that bass up perfectly. Yeah, it has a lot of stuff in here. Let's leave all the what do you call it? Let's leave the performative instruments separate so that the ear's not trying to guess which sound is the main thing trying to perform. So the bass is that main sound. Wait, there's a bass somewhere in here? Okay, that's why it's weird. We have like a bass guitar in the guitar take. How did that happen? Let's turn these percussive elements down. We could also try panning these left and right. Let's just turn off the AI stuff to see how much of our stuff loops properly, or if it's just the AI stuff. This is what we produced so far. See how the kick feels much more organic. I think we need one more kick in here, so let's record that last kick. Imaginary haters. Okay, there we go. Imaginary haters. Imaginary. All right, so it's definitely one of these AI things that is off the grid somewhere. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. So for that reason, I think I might do the bass through a plugin. So it ends up, we're actually probably going to use a plugin here. Question is, do we use Trillion? Do we use Ample Sound? I'm probably going to go with Ample Sound because it just gives me a more, like a softer tone. Trillion's very like punchy, almost like too perfect to where it just cuts through. I know that sounds crazy, but we're going to use all right, so let's record this. Pretty simple. We're just going up the scale here. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, so it's hard to teach what I'm about to show you guys, but if you guys want better melodies, try moving your entire song to the right one bar. Turn the metronome on. Can you prompt it in? I could, but oh, dry samples. I guess you could. I think somebody said if you put no reverb, yeah. So yeah, somebody said they did it. I don't do it that way though. Perfect amount of distortion. So here's the thing about this track is it's called syncopated. The rhythms are syncopated. They come in before the downbeat. So a lot of the stuff that I'm recording starting at the downbeat, it's missing the whole bounce into the beat. So that's why it's kind of like offset. So what I'll do to prevent it, oops, sorry, wrong channel, is we're gonna add a bar in the beginning of the song here. And that will allow us to lead into the downbeat. So it's not like dun, 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 just out of nowhere. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. see how it's like a bounce to it now?
Imagine every hate.
So we're going to do the same thing per thing. So we're going to go back and actually re-record some of this percussion here. Only thing we don't need to record is, I think, so anything that's like snare, we don't need to record that. The bongo, I think we might have to add a couple little ta 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 ta. So let's go to a new pattern and just record that leading in. So now we're just kind of touching up the beginnings here. Ta 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 ta. So I know this is like a tiny detail, but this is what separates like pros from just people who slap stuff together. This is at this point in stage, you know, people who are just watching from afar, they don't know that timing is like everything. So what we need to do is just start lining up times.
Imagine every hate. Imagine every hate. Imagine every haters. Imagine every hate.
So this will, so I'm speaking like gibberish because I have a million thoughts flowing through me. So I think this is trecio. So da 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 da. That's the pattern. Da 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 da. So see how I'm, you know, adding these little pieces to the beginning. Let's group this. Hit Control G to group. All we got to do is just go in and make sure we're not having duplicate notes.
Imagine every hate.
And now the drums and everything just don't come out of nowhere. All I want to know is that they don't really care. All about the tresillo. What else do we have in here? We have pattern 6. This is simple snare. We have, what is this? The strings. So the kick is probably the last thing we need to address here. And let's double click in here. Go to channel rack. Open it up. New pattern. Boom. Boom. Back to the beginning. So do. Where's our kick? Oh, our kick's down here. Okay. So that is what's going to fix the groove in the beginning. Now we just need to make the AI sample kind of wrap around all this stuff. Let's hear it so far.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
Now here I messed up. My finger kind of slipped at the end. Let's fix it.
Imagine every haters.
Wrap around. Now, Logic has a better quantize than FL. Let's just hit Alt Q and let me think. Does this have swing on it? No. So man, we got to do all this stuff. I'm just going to do what I have to do. I'm not going to overly explain much of anything here. So bear with my boringness here, but we need to load up a default. We're going to go ahead and pull that quantize back a little bit.
Imagine every haters.
That will tighten up some of the timing.
Imaginary haters.
Said imaginary haters. All right, I think we have everything. We need some kind of like, some kind of chime sound or something. Who had chimes, man? We were in a kit that had chimes in it. I think it was the Innovators kit from the 2000s. There was definitely a chime in here somewhere. And if I could find it, yeah, we definitely got to throw this in here. Hit Shift Q to quantize it to the grid. And we could do something fancy like clone it over, make it unique, double click, and reverse. Flip the thing down, flip it, and reverse it. It's year from a different plan yet. Okay, then we're going to hit Alt. And then let's make this not crossfade. Basically, we just need to slice it at the down. Just right click. and fix this little crossfade.
Imagine every haters.
So that chime is really essential to this vibe.
Imagine every haters.
Let's use that as our.
Imagine every haters.
All right, now I'm gonna start mixing. Let's send the harmonica to the mixer.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
We're also gonna turn these bongos down a little bit.
Imagine every haters.
Leave that dynamic for the artist. We might have to freestyle. So it needs some energy in here. Something energetically is missing. It could be the hi-hats. So first of all, why is this not? We need to figure out why our chimes ain't chiming. Oh, because I made them unique. That's why.
Imagine every haters.
I like the chime. Okay.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
Now we're adding dimension with the reverb.
Imagine every haters.
So what I'm gonna do is see if we can swap out the kicks sample.
Imagine every haters.
It needs a little more density to my ear.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine
Alright, this kick is way better.
haters. Imagine every haters.
More bongos, more cowbell. Let's see if we can find some hi-hats real quick.
Imagine every haters.
Tambourines. Tambourine.
Imagine every haters.
Well, that's hard.
Imagine every haters.
1, 2, ding. I mean, 1, 2, ding.
Imagine
I think it's just the groove of the kick and that bass aren't perfect. That's what's kind of throwing off the ear. So 1, 2, ding.
Imagine every haters.
That little ding is everything.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
So we still got to add that, like, that aura, as they say. And I think that aura is like a filtered pad of some sort.
Imagine every haters.
Let's also try tambourine.
I
don't know. This doesn't feel very tambourine-y because we're not doing. If we were doing like a boom, 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 cha, ta, boom, I'd do with the tambourine. But because we're not using that much swing, I just feel like that's not going to be a vibe. All right, let's flip it back to the beat.
Imagine every haters.
Let's record this in. Maybe the hi-hat would be too much. We don't know. There's like a little latency though. I can't figure out where.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
So it's definitely missing a cymbal. The subscriber tambourine. Chime too loud for you guys. I gotta turn it down. Could just be my vocal just offbeat. Give me a second to reset the chimes. I think this is that bass groove. As we quantize it, we lose some of that bounce. It's like do 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 do. It's kind of like delayed sounding. So I'm gonna pull it ahead of the groove a little bit. So that was the issue. Is this? It just sounds too doop 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 doop. What up, Alejandro? Alejandro, what's up, man? So I know this is a little tedious, but I'm just gonna line this up. Maybe that's why the kick feels so like, man, this is one thing that is hard to explain. Again, like I said, is sometimes stuff like the Neptunes, the way their stuff sounded is they would nudge or play their kicks a little ahead of the beat. And that's why I had that tight groove. So they're not playing on the downbeat. And that's why the kick sounds so sluggish. Here, we're gonna turn the hi-hat down. Give me a second. There we go. Timing is really everything. All right, now let's open up the other instruments. Now we have stuff figured out. Let's see, is all this routed? So we need to route these sounds here. Let's just double click on it, hit Control L, send it to the mixer. And now we can start arranging because these are basically just small puzzle pieces. We could also chop this up and, you know, into chops if we wanted to. But let's use these as like melodic ear candy, so to speak. And let me see. Okay, so what are the essential things? Gotta crack my back. What up, Estonia? I don't know what that flag is. Baha'i from something. I don't know what country that is. We're going to keep all the arrangement puzzle pieces up top. We're going to add the drums down low because these are just, they're going to pretty much stay the same. All right, so I think we have everything. And let's just slice this at the beginning so that we could copy and paste it easier. Hit Control, highlight all this. Hit Shift, left click. Whoops. Make sure you're not on the slice tool. Hit Control, highlight this, hit Shift, left click, drag it over. So this should line up. All right, now we're gonna move the music around so it's not so repetitive. And I think a filter might be good for the music too. It's called samples. I think I might chop this saxophone. I just don't want to play in like a whole solo. So let's right click. Let's open this up in, debating if I want to use the new Fruity Slicer. I guess it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which one we use. Let's just open it up in Fruity Slicer. Let's change the slice algorithm here. Let's do a half beat. Hold on, y'all. Find a new pattern. Hit Control L, send that thing to the mixer. In reference to playing in real time, not programming, I always found timing in FL difficult. Yeah, it's just I think, you know, in Logic, for example, they have time before the downbeat, and you can kind of quantize this stuff even before you get into the downbeat. Whereas FL, you start straight at the downbeat, and I think that offsets a lot of you guys' melodic ideas because not every melody starts right on the downbeat. So instead of the saxophone, let's play little chops. And I also want to filter the samples. So I know I'm moving kind of quick here, y'all, but we've done all the hard work, so to speak. Now let's route it to a filter and add like a bandpass type. figure out what the heck happened to the kick. It goes like do do do. I don't know what happened to the kick there. I think when we sliced it, it created 2 different kicks. That is weird. All right, so let's the question is, how do we copy this over? We gotta, all right. So I was wondering why the pattern sounded off. Man, FL. Let's hit Control L, hit Control G, make that one big kick. And to copy it over, let's create a new lane. Control I, hit Shift, drag it over to make it overlap. And just hit Alt manually to just mask the kick manually. Tedious, but that's how we have to solve that issue. That may have happened to the bongo somewhere. I don't think so. It's hard to see. Hold up, y'all. Now, the biggest problem would be finding the right artist. Well, we're kind of recreating a Jay-Z vibe. Let's open up the sounds here. What topic do you think would fit on this beat? I don't know. Being a player. Now, the beat is called Imaginary Haters, so it's definitely about people hating on you and them just being suckers. That's the topic. So the drums need a little more attention to time, but for the video's sake, I'm not gonna obsess about it because it requires all these adjustments in time. I wish FL had like a macro quantize your drums swing, but they don't, so not gonna waste time. Let me load up the preamp here. All right, now we need to add in the other instruments here. I know it took a while to get here, but like I said, this is not the fast button when you use Suno Studio. It's more of a studio session using AI. It's less this like it does everything for you thing. Country. Let's do a country beat next. You want to do actually a Jeezy beat? We're gonna do a Jeezy trap beat next, and let's do country though. I did have that on my list. Oh, I do hear Jeezy on this. I forgot. Jeezy and Jay-Z. We're gonna add a little demo. Give me a sec, y'all. I gotta focus for something. I think it's the hi-hats. So, man, there's so many things to explain here. So the sluggishness is because of, like I said, guys, this beat requires that the sounds start before the downbeat. To solve all the issues here, we're just going to basically hit Alt in the playlist, drag it to the left, and purposely offset. Now everything fits in that groove way better. Still got to find an open hi-hat. We're going to use a choke group on this. Like that. All right, so I know there's a lot going on, y'all. happens with the hi-hats. I don't know what happens at the end. All right, so it was definitely the hi-hat screwing it. Did I not record that? No way, I did not hit record. Bruh. Y'all that ever happened to y'all? Sitting there jamming, you forgot to hit record. Dang. All right, let's do it again. I think the bass is the last thing I want to fix. I think I played too like sustain, like boom, 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 instead of just doop, 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 doop. Like I didn't play very like muted in a way. So I'm going to go back and just redo some of that bass. See how I'm playing it more bouncy? Let's record that in. There's like something in here is off a little bit. I think it might be the bongos. But hopefully you guys can see how much time goes into just getting your timing right. All right, y'all. Let's start making some out of this. I feel like the drums need more to it though. All right, now let's do the recording. I think my mic heated up. We're on mic, what is it? 3. Check, 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 check. All right, so that mic works. And yeah, so let's route that to the reverb, give it a little vibe. All right, so we got the mic going. What else is there to do? Let's potentially add some instruments. I can't think of any other instruments that would be on here, so I'm just gonna go to Fabric XL. Shout out to M Music for sending this over. We're gonna use some like E keys just to see if I could figure out if we need any background stuff. So now we're just adding little background keys. All right, y'all. So like I said, this takes a little bit longer than your average because we're treating this like a real recorded session. So we got to treat these just like we would audio. I'm just trying to find the passing chord. I'm just revoicing it. All right, so I figured it out. This is a tough record because there's so many rhythmic things, and one rhythmic thing that's off throws everything off. So I'm just going to mute things and figure out which thing is off, because there's one thing and it just throws everything off. It might be the kick. I just can't tell. And firstly, I thought I fixed that kick. It shouldn't go do do do. It should be do do. Is there another? Okay, there's another pattern somewhere. That's what's happening. I think it's this. That's it. Man, where is this kick? There's like a freaking ghost. Okay, there's two patterns overlapping. That's what happened. Man, jeez, Louise. No, there's like it's like do do do, and I just don't want the kick to do that. There we go. Goodness, that one thing just threw my whole ear off. Sheesh. All right. Now let's record. The trick here is that we're playing really syncopated. So as you guys can see, this we've been at this, what, an hour? It takes time. Like, this stuff takes time. I'm gonna swap out the keys though. The keys feel a little weak. Let's swap it out for Keyscape. The keys just don't feel like the real deal. Let's go to Keyscape. We're gonna pull up a Rhodes. And hold up, y'all. This just has much more weight to it. So there's like 7 different timing offsets, and it's really frustrating NFL because they don't have a good system for adjusting it. Logic Pro would be so easy. So I'm just speeding it up to get rid of some of those time inconsistencies. All right, so we've done a lot to this track, and getting kind of tired of this track. Let's just add a verse or some kind of lyrics to it, some kind of hook.
Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters. Imaginary haters.
bongos that are just. And also, I think in the original song, there's like a half of a like beat that offsets in the middle, and they probably didn't slice it perfectly. So that's why I think our rhythm is not matching the like my head.
Imagine every haters.
Let's just pan these out.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
Maybe we're just too fast on this one.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
Let's pull it back to 90. I feel like it's too fast. Let me record some more. Like, I don't know. Imagine every. I don't know. I'll just sing it a little bit different. Digicore.
Imagine every haters. 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 Imagine every haters.
Also, I think that snare sucks now that I'm here. All right, so it's the snare we got to change, and then we're done. So see how much like stuff, see how much energy a vocal can add. It takes away, it distracts from like your beat not being perfect, because the vocal fills in those like timing gaps. So that's why you gotta make sure you try to get a vocal on.
Imagine every haters.
Let's turn this down a little bit.
Imagine every haters.
But yeah, we need this,
Imagine every
that snare. Let's
haters.
switch it out for a rim shot or something.
Imagine every haters.
I didn't realize the snare is so delayed. Huh. Do I have a rim shot on deck? I don't know. We need to move to the next track. We've been on this track way too long. Let's do drum break. Let's do sauce. Boom. 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 We just need a simple, that kind of snare. I don't think we need all this extra type of snare. Also, I think the snare is a little delayed. So I gotta figure out where it is first.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
I think we're done this idea. I'm running through. Tambourine. Now look for tambourine.
Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters. Imagine every haters.
Good idea. It just took way too long to get to that. So that one, not a hit. But let's start a new. Check. Now we're gonna get in our Jeezy bag. So now I appreciate you guys giving me suggestions throughout. Let's do Young Jizzle. Young Jizzle from the bottom of the map. Got an ATL on the bottom of the strap. Yay. All right, let's call this Jeezy Trap. Now we're gonna get just trapped out. Appreciate you guys for even tuning in. Let me check on you guys. Make sure you guys are okay. Make sure everything's okay. All right, let's get this thing rocking. All right, so for Jeezy, we want to use those sound fonts. Let's go back to that sound font folder. Where'd it go? All right, so man. Okay, so the sound fonts I had were Lex Luger's Brass and something else. Here it is, Brass Ensemble. That's my keyboard. Y'all love some tambourina. Tambourina, tambourina. And then let's add some other. This is not looped well, so I don't know if we're gonna use that one. Whoever made that sound font is garbage. Not the person, but the sound font. All right. What else do we have in here? These are like general MIDI sounds, so I don't think we're gonna use these unless they have an ensemble. Yeah, it has that cheap. This is pretty good. Let's do something like. Yeah, this is it right here. Now the thing about brass is you can't quantize it, or else it sounds super off. So you gotta really play in the pocket with brass. There's a little part where it's off a little bit. Just about a minute. To the mind, nigga. To the mind, nigga. See how it's just like brass is all the way there with it? I don't have Xenology. Dang. I don't have it. Let's see what else we can add here. I think that's all the brass we need. Add a little pitch bend on the brass, so it's not a normal sound, so it adds. Has that Johnny Giuliano type sound. DJ Drama, dramatic. Let's get some drums in here. See how this hi-hat feels a little sluggish? Oh, why'd it end with the freak? I was trying to record in loop. Dang on thing. Dang on thing. Here we go. My finger might slip. All right, so let me show you guys how to quantize triplets. So firstly, for the quarter beat, we're going to highlight it, hit control on the note, hit command Q, and that will quantize it to the grid of your choice. And then highlight the other notes that are triplets, go to snap to grid 1/3 beat or 1/6 beat and hit command Q again, control Q, and that will quantize to this grid, which is a triplet grid. So that's how you quantize triplets. I don't think this is a triplet here. Gotta fix that. Let's turn this 808 up a little bit. Yeah, we're definitely doing Jeezy on this one. We need some kind of open hi-hat. I'm gonna add a little laser in here. Young 50, 100, by the way. I used to build by the way. By the way. By the way. I used to by the way. Let me just record in my head. That open hi-hat later. I just have an idea. All right, let's loop record. And all right. Let's give it some time. Check. Can't hear anything. Check.
Yeah, by the way. Stand by the way.
fill in the gap.
First off, I ain't had my hands by the way. Hop out the coupe and ride and feel my hands by the way. Slide through your block, got this hands by the way. Hop out that Billy truck and ride for them hands by the way. Hop out Billy truck and hands by the way. Surfboard, song hands by the way. Usually I'm on the block and hands by the way. Hopping out the Billy coupe, steady rocking hands by the way. First off, Billy coupe, rocking hands by the way. Hop up in the building, got my niggas with that hand by the way. First off, used to turn the block by the hands by the way. Hopping in the feeling, used to rock by the hands by the way. I was in the ceiling, had the hands on the hands by the way. I'm in the feeling, got the coupe, I got the bed by the way. Used to first off, had the hands by the way. Used to with the fighter with the solve, had the bed by the way. First off, I ain't had my hands by the way. In the ceiling, got the ride, I got the hands by the way. I'm riding with your fly, got the hands by the way. Hop out that Billy truck, I'm riding for the hands by the way.
I don't know if we're gonna double that one.
First off, I ain't had my hands by the way. Hop out the coupe and ride and feel my hands by the way. Slide through your block, got this hands by the way. Hop out that Billy truck, I'm riding for the hands by the way. Hop out Billy truck, I'm hands by the way. Surfboard, song hands by the way. Usually I'm on the block and hands by the way. Hopping out the Billy coupe, steady rocking hands by the way. First off, Billy coupe, rocking hands by the way. Hop up in the building, got my niggas with that hand by the way. First off, used to turn the block by the hands by the way. Hopping in the feeling, used to rock by the hands by the way. I was in the ceiling, had the pants on the mans by the way. I'm in the feeling, got the coupe, I got the bed by the way. Used to first off, had the bands by the way. Used to with the fighter with the solve, had the bed by the way. First off, I ain't had my hands by the way. Hop out the coupe and ride and feel my hands by the way. Slide through your block, got this hands by the way. Hop out that Billy truck, I'm riding for the hands by the way. Hop out Billy truck, I'm hands by the way. Surfboard, song hands by the way. Usually I'm on the block and hands by the way. Hopping out the Billy coupe, steady rocking hands by the way. First off, Billy coupe, rocking hands by the way. Hop up in the building, got my niggas with that hand by the way. First off, used to turn the block by the hands by the way. Hopping in the feeling, used to rock by the hands by the way. I was in the ceiling, had the hands on the mans by the way. I'm in the feeling, got the coupe, I got the bed by the way. Used to first off, had the hands by the way. Used to with the fighter with the solve, had the bed by the way. First off, I ain't had my hands by the way. Hop out the coupe and ride and feel my hands by the way. Slide through your block, got this hands by the way. Hop out that Billy truck, I'm riding for the hands by the way. Hop out Billy truck, I'm hands by the way. Surfboard, song hands by the way. Usually I'm on the block and hands by the way. Hopping out the Billy coupe, steady rocking hands by the way. First off, Billy coupe, rocking hands by the way. Hop up in the building, got my niggas with that hand by the way. First off, used to turn the block by the hands by the way. Hopping in the feeling, used to rock by the hands by the way. I was in the ceiling, had the pants on the mans by the way. I'm in the feeling, got the coupe, I got the bed by the way. Used to first off, had the bands by the way. Used to with the fighter with the solve, had the bed by the way. Had the bands by the way. Used to with the fighter with the solve, had the bed by the way. First off, I ain't had my hands by the way. Hop out the coupe and ride and feel my hands by the way. Slide through your block, got this hands by the way. Hop out that Billy truck, I'm riding for the hands by the way. Hop out Billy truck, I'm hands by the way. Surfboard, song hands by the way. Usually I'm on the block and hands by the way. Hopping out the Billy coupe, steady rocking hands by the way. First off, Billy coupe, rocking hands by the way. Hop up in the building, got my niggas with that hand by the way. First off, used to turn the block by the hands by the way. Hopping in the feeling, used to rock by the hands by the way. I was in the ceiling, had the pants on the mans by the way. I'm in the feeling.
Alright, so now we're gonna add. Oh, y'all can't hear me. My bad. Now we're gonna add in a little 808 stuff.
First off, I ain't had my hands by the way. Hop out the coupe and ride and feel my hands by the way. Slide through your block, got this hands by the way. Hop out that Billy truck, I'm riding for the hands by the way. Hop out Billy truck, I'm hands by the way. Surfboard, song hands by the way. Usually I'm on the block and hands by the way. Hopping out the Billy coupe,
the beat's a little hard to freestyle on it, but I can now understand how Jeezy gets his flow though.
I can't even hear myself, my voice too weak. Sliding on a beat, DJ drama with the heat. Busy words, beats on the live making beats. Sliding in the studio, we ride to the beat. Hop out, got the window riding in the streets. All I know is getting money, stacking up the cheese. Blowing on something, so we call it robbing knees. Riding with them niggas, got them bitches on their knees. Stacking up the cheese like we trying to run the bees. All my niggas stacking, all we do is get the packing. Rocking with the stackers like we green up like the Packers. Shout out all my niggas that be coming from the bay. Hopping out the window looking like I got a K. Arm out the window, need to bust it every day. Bust down, baby, bust it down on the way. Shorty gotta bust it down for me, got it then. Shorty need another new car, new whip. Shorty need to ride down the block, zip. I be riding around in the whip with the zip. First sip I saw was on the kitchen table sink. Had to cut it up to the gym. Now I know for safe, so I served it up legit. Rockin' heavy diamonds so my niggas can't quit.
So Jeezy's thing is like just recording the lyrics twice. I was freestyling, so we don't have two of them. But yeah, appreciate you guys being here. So let me just hear what this sounds like with the
First off, I ain't had my hands by the way. Hop out the coupe and ride and feel my hands by the way. Slide through your block, got this hands by the way. Hop out that Billy truck, I'm riding for the hands by the way. Hop out Billy truck, I'm hands by the way. Surfboard, so I'm hands by the way. Usually I'm on the block and hands by the way. Hopping out the Billy coupe, steady rocking hands by the way. First off, Billy coupe rocking hands by the way. Hop up in the building, got my niggas with that hands by the way. First off, used to turn the block by the hands by the way. Hopping in the feeling, used to rock by the hands by the way. I was in the ceiling, had the pants on the meds by the way. I'm in the feeling, got the coupe, I got the bed by the way. Used off, first off, had the bands by the way. Used to with the fighting with the soft, had the band by the way. 2 week, sliding on a beat, DJ drama with the heat. Ooh-wee, I can't even hear myself, my voice too weak. Sliding on a beat, DJ drama with the heat. Busy words, beats on the live making beats. Sliding in the studio, we ride to the beat. Hop out, got the window riding in the streets. All I know is getting money, stacking up the cheese. Blowing on something, so we call it robbing knees. Riding with them niggas, got them bitches on their knees. Stacking up the cheese like we trying to run the D's. All my niggas stacking, all we do is get the packing. Rocking with the stackers like we green up like the Packers. Shout out all my niggas that be coming from the bay. Hopping out the window looking like I got a K. Arm out the window, need to bust it every day. Bust down, baby, bust it down on the way. First off, I ain't.
All right, so now I did the little demo thing just so we could hear the pocket. So that beat came out pretty dope. So that one had the energy on it. That last beat just took 17 years to make. That's why. Let's play just the beat one more time and then we'll move to the next. a country ID on this next one as we export that, because the beat is really hard on that one. All right, so now let's do some country. Boom, export that thing. Master effects. I feel like FL sounded better without the mastering effects on it. It just sounded just good clipping. So in that case, we're not going to add any effects. Now we're going to just record in Logic and try to create some kind of country song. So let's. So I don't even know like country off the top of my head. So we're creating from a straight on, just like the rough concept of country that I even have. We're creating from that mindset. So it gives us a more pure approach, in my opinion, than just like country being beat into our head. Let's get the BPM right. What kind of country melody am I thinking? So again, I like to record first and then drag it into Suno. Let me think. Girl, I been doing. That's too fast. Girl, I been watching you. There's nothing I can do. Oh no, girl, I been watching you. Check. Let's run that back. Girl, I. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But in the end of the night, I need to know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I need to know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I need to know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Mine. Why was that hard? Why was that actually kind of hard? Girl, Let me do it one more time though, because I kind of messed up on one thing. Let me do that again. That was kind of hard, y'all. Getting somewhere. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. Oh, I ran out of breath. F and F. Why did I run out of breath? Right at the very end. Suck my dick, Jimmy Slim. Suck a cock. Suck a chode, Jimmy. Suck on a big, fat, black cock. Stop. All right, so now we need to send this into Suno Studio. And let me see here. Hold up. Where's the beginning, though? All right, so let's export both these. We're going to export both of the things. Let's got a file, export them things. Let's go to tracks as audio files. We need to make sure we have the BPM, which is 90. Let's do this, hide this, move this, click here, type in country, paste. Eat a fat one, Jimmy. You gotta go old school with them. Hey, your mom, Jimmy. Your mom. You just gotta say random stuff. Yo, Xbox Live taught me how to survive online. If you never had Xbox Live during the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 era, you're probably soft. What's today? November 14th. Should probably actually do the year first. 2025, November 14. Country. All right, we're gonna, okay, so all I have, because I don't know how to produce country except for maybe drums and the bass, do, boom, boom. It's probably all I can really produce. I can't produce the slide guitar, the lap guitar. So we're relying wholly on Suno here. Let me get rid of FL for a second. All right, so Audio 4, I think, was the best one. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now I have a country accent. Shout out to Walter Brady, man. I remember our session where we produced a country track. It actually came out fire. It was like a country trap track. This is before Lil Nas, or Nas X, I mean. Yeah, if you play Halo 2, the main racism came around Modern Warfare, though. That's when the racist came out. Gears of War. Halo, everybody was kind of cool around Halo, but once Call of Duty came out, that pulled out the real good old boys. All right, so we were producing at 90 BPM. Let's do manual BPM, 90. All right, now we're gonna add some tracks. Let's go to guitar. We're gonna do what's called a lap steel guitar. Country. We'll specifically say country, even though lap steel is pretty much built just for country. And let's do this again. Lap steel guitar without the word country. Let's see if it adds what I think it will add. And then we want some acoustic guitars. Let's do guitar, acoustic, country, and then we'll just put acoustic on the next track. I feel like they've done something about Suno Studio. Like right here, this add track button is very helpful. This little EQ is brand new, bars. Acoustic melody. All right, so if everything worked as expected, we should have... Let's add another track here. Is that a bass?
Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do.
I like how spaced out.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I want.
Let's add some drums in here. It's called country drum.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all
like,
I want. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I want.
I like the dum, dum, dum. I like that rhythm. This bass is like way too deep. It's playing weird notes.
Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end,
hopefully these drums are bringing some energy.
I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna.
I don't know, it feels kind of empty.
Girl, I've been watching you.
Because that is acoustic.
You're all I wanna do. But at the
Right, these drums are not good. Switch up.
I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're
These drums.
all I want. But at the end of the
gonna do for the drums. The drums, I want more of that, like that. Hey, 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 hey. I don't know what they're called, like stadium drums or something. I don't know what it's called, but like bar music type drums. Let's try to get that type of tone. This tone is a little too relaxed.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the
Where's the
end
drum?
of the night,
Oh, never mind. It didn't
I
generate.
wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching.
So-
You're all I wanna do.
Let's go.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been
We need some more like acoustic chords. Where's the
You're
chords?
all I
It's just
want.
playing rhythm guitar.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching.
Let me get rid of this little rhythm.
You're all I want.
It's kind of just,
But at the end of the night,
that's a
I
big.
wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do.
This is better, but it's still.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want.
What are these drums doing? I don't know about these drum selections here. Let's just use the original.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want.
These drums are very like, there's a lot of background noise.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that
These drums are a little weak.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine.
Let me try another drum track. I don't know why these drums are like so not
You're all
catching the vibe here.
But at the end of the night, I want
It is so hot in this house, y'all. Oh, let me turn the preamp on.
You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the
Let's try some like background singers or something here. It's just missing like the musicality in the middle. I think it's really just the drums are not hitting the way I want. And the forgot the bass was turned off.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end
It's
of
in a whole different key. What the freak?
I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl,
Man, these drums are adding so much artifact. So they still need to work on drums, apparently, in terms of other
girl,
genres.
I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night,
We're gonna have to do our own drums because these drums are not good.
Girl, I've been watching. You're
Now
all
let's add a
I
background vocal track.
want. But at the end
Let's add
of
R&B,
I wanna
female
know that
harmonies.
girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the
So in the meantime, as this is like doing its thing, let's actually go back into Logic and at least do a decent drum. Boom, track, boom, boom. What was it? Addictive drums too that we had? I forgot. I think we have a country kit, funny enough. Turn off my keyboard. Something like that. Boom. Brah. Let's just record this in.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna.
Oh, my
Girl,
dumb self. I was like, why do I hear two? All right, that was my bad.
Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you.
All right, so we're just gonna loop that because I don't feel like redoing all that. All right, let's double click on that thing, quantize them things. I don't know where our first. Hold on, let me draw a note in.
Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all
The snares is out of tune on this.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you.
Maybe we change the tuning.
You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I want.
Drums are better. The drums in Suno weren't hitting. See what the background vocals sound like? It looks kind of gappy.
Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do. But at
Let's figure out what key we're in.
I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you. You're all I wanna do.
So something's been really weird about Suno lately. The stuff hasn't been lining up. I don't know why though. It's off by a good.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you.
I think because it can't figure out the downbeats, so it just, I don't know, it's just off sometimes.
Girl, I've been watching. Girl, I've been watching.
So the watching, it's kind of hard to see too, but I'm lining this up.
Girl, I've been watching.
Now, I do like the fact that they squared off the audio. It's easier to line up.
I've been watching.
It's a little.
I've been watching.
There we go.
You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna
Let's figure out what key we're in.
But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want.
The key is B flat minor, so now we can add auto-tune. Yeah, this sounds really good.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna.
Forgot the key that fast. B flat minor.
I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna. But at the end of the night,
Now the thing is, this sounds amazing inside of Suno, but once you take stuff outside of Suno, it doesn't line up the same. I wish they would just implant the time warping that they do to the actual audio, because I've noticed when you stem stuff out, maybe they fixed it. Maybe the last track just didn't work out. When you stem stuff out, it tends to lose its like glue, its cohesion in terms of timing. And that's why I like to use Logic, because Logic is easier to deal with time offsets because you could quantize audio. FL Studio just requires so much stuff. It's just not even worth the headache. All right, now let's drag this in. Let's do create new tracks. So far, I mean, this is actually a viable idea. Let's quantize these drums a little bit more.
girl, I've been watching. You're all I want.
The drums seem a little delayed though.
But at the
now send this to a reverb. Studio One puts everything. See, FL Studio just needs to hire their employee who figured that out. Let me mix this a little bit. So let's say you don't like your vocal, you want a different vocal. There's a new plugin called Sound ID that we can use. So Sound ID, I'm probably gonna spell this wrong. Sound ID Voice AI. So if you guys want to swap out your vocals, you guys could use this plugin. It's a little tricky getting it started. I don't know why the message pops up a lot, but you guys can swap your vocals out.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want.
I've never used that plugin. I've never heard of it. Let's compress these drums a little bit. So we have a pretty cohesive song here. The only thing I would do here is maybe double the vocal. So I don't know how to do this easily in Logic. We need to figure out how to cut.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night.
Let me see if I could double the vocal. Now I'm going to purposely just like make it detuned so that it can basically sound wider. I'm playing one left, one right. Now I'm being lazy with this. This is not my like actual technique. We need to detune this though. So let's detune it down to like 430. Do more retune speed on it.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want.
I guess it doesn't really work. It has to be a different take. So I was trying to create like a pseudo stereo effect. It just sounds phasey. So we're not going to use that. It's going to use one track in this case.
Do that, girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night, I want to know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night, I want to know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night, I want to know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want. But at the end of the night, I want to know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I want.
Forgot with these, we can't even pan. That's why it sounded weird. I forgot we're in mono channels. That's why I didn't pan. So my dumb self forgot we were in a mono channel. Let's do bus 4. I'm gonna send this over to micro shift just to widen it out a little bit. I want to see what it sounds like.
I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching.
I don't know if I hear it though.
You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know.
He's like, can anyone tell me why all the Suno rappers sound like Russ? Maybe they trained off of Russ. I don't know. The rappers. I get rappers that sound pretty diverse, even like LA accent rappers. So this track is pretty simple, but it's coming together. Let me just mix this a little bit.
Girl, I've been watching.
And then we'll wrap this
You're
live.
all I want. But at the end of the night,
So let's make this sound more human.
I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching.
Is that a little compression here?
You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you.
Oh, I ran out of breath. And it just kept going with the idea. That's pretty dope. That's crazy. That's actually how I wanted to end the track. That's why I said Suno is like magical. Let's run this back.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching.
Oh, I ran out of breath. Ended like perfectly too. That's dope. So I like that idea. I'm gonna run it just to hear what it sounds like when I up the stereo with.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanna do. But at the end of the night, I wanna You're all I want, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching you.
Oh, I ran out of breath. That came out pretty crazy if you ask me. I'm gonna print this song and we're gonna play another. All right, let's play the Jeezy song as we print this song. So what got me making better beats, in my opinion, is when you guys start recording to your own beats, you will start making better beats. As you guys heard, when we recorded to this one, our beat came out more energetic. And on this country one, when we started with the vocal, when you have the vocal in mind, your beats tend to translate to the full song much easier without rhythmic issues. So here's the last track. And then I'm gonna wrap it up.
Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanted, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanted, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanted, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanted, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanted, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanted, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanted, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching. You're all I wanted, but at the end of the night, I wanna know that you're mine. Girl, I've been watching.
Oh, I ran out of breath. So I will say, you guys should try producing country. All right, that wraps it up for today. I want to thank everybody for watching the replay, for joining in live. One thing I learned today was definitely you guys should try out easy listening genres, because the way you go about production is a little bit different, and you'll learn your tools a little bit more. So thank you guys for watching. KED is in here. All right, y'all. So I appreciate y'all. Come join us on Discord. It's discord.gg/busyworksbeats. We're going to announce the winner of the Omnisphere 3 tomorrow. We're going to go live and pick a winner. So make sure you guys go to busyworksbeats.com/Omnisphere if you haven't already, to hop into our Omnisphere 3 giveaway tomorrow. We're going to pick a winner live on YouTube, busyworksbeats.com/Omnisphere. So that's how you enter. All right, guys.